line of StarCraft 2 products. They will be having a mouse, keyboard, and headset that are all specially integrated with StarCraft 2. So here we are going directly into Game 1 of the Razor King of the Beta Tournament, Day 2. We have QXC spawning in the top right corner as the purple Terran, and in the bottom left we have White Ra spawning as the red Protoss. Now this first map is Blistering Sands. It does allow for a little bit more aggression thanks to this backdoor entrance right here. This is the significant part of this map. This does mean that for warp gate pushes are a little bit more threatening. You can get into your opponent's face a little bit more easily as a result. So QXC going to have some big decisions at the start of how he's going to manage the front and back of his base. It's a little bit harder for Terran because Terran has to play a little bit more passively in the early game. So White Ra is of course making a pylon directly next to his Nexus. This will allow him to manage Reaper Harass a little bit better. Don't ever want to get that gateway too far away at the start. Players used to wall in at the front. They still do against Protoss and Zerg, but against Terran, it's a little bit risky just because of the fact that those Reapers are so prominent in the early game. And of course against QXC, wouldn't be surprised if he used that as much as possible. So we do have one gateway going down right now. White Ra scouting right afterwards at 12, getting directly to his opponent's base ASAP. So looks like barracks going down for QXC as well. QXC not gassing yet. Just sending out a scout SCV of his own. Going to be heading towards his opponent's base. Going to check out this little probe. They're going to be doing a little swing by one another. And gas also going down for QXC. So a very typical play by both players. Nothing out of the ordinary at this point in time. Does look like QXC, oh, we will not be able to wall off that probe, and this is always so obnoxious. This is the huge problem of building your buildings at your front. This probe harass is so brutal. Look at White Ra letting that probe get down to 0 health and then running back as it does recharge very quickly, but the barracks is going to finish on time. White Ra is getting, looks like, is he getting a Zealot? No, he's going to go straight into the Cybernetics Core. He's going to hide it back here. Of course, with Protoss, always a little bit easy to hide all your buildings, thanks to the fact that Warp Gate allows you to morph in at pretty much any location. QXC getting a good look at everything that's going around here, and of course, very typical gas timing going down right now for White Ra. Looks like QXC hasn't completed the wall off in his base, is in fact opting not to. It's a very interesting play as well. Looks like he's muling, just continuing to focus on his economy. Has one Marine out, kind of rallied in an incorrect spot, and oh my god, no imposter here. This is definitely White Ra playing. White Ra loves hiding buildings all across the map. Would not be surprised to see an early Stargate pop out. White Ra also chrono boosting that first Stalker, very important so he can deal with Reaper Harass. But QXC, notice the way he's scouting is he wants to keep by these pylons. He wants to see what tech his opponent is up to, and QXC is going to start getting real suspicious right now. He's leaving in time so that he doesn't actually lose this SCV, but he has to know that something's up. He sees that there is no third pylon, and oh my goodness, Stargate going down for White Ra. Void Rays or Phoenixes could be coming up. Would probably lean towards Void Rays because that is one of White Ra's favorite units. QXC is going to pull this SCV up to try to snipe this probe at the Xel'Naga Watchtower, but looks like White Ra few steps ahead. Now back in QXC's base, he is continuing to mass up Marines, wants to get a solid force, and factory finished and a Hellion coming right now. A second barracks coming up. This is the build that we did see the little one do against Huck on this map yesterday, and also in pretty much all of his games. The barracks factory barracks build. And here comes the Hellion push with the Marines. I love the fact that QXC moved those Marines out early. They are slower than the Hellion, so that does mean that the Hellion can catch up. And White Ra has no idea that it's coming. He didn't have any spotters here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. QXC is waltzing right around it. Oh my god, White Ra is... Oh my god, White Ra's going completely around. There's no defense from QXC. He just has a handful of Marines and Hellions, and this first probe is going to be able to spot that there really isn't anything at the front. So here comes the first huge push from QXC. He's coming right up the ramp. There's no units here from White Ra. He has one nearly done Stalker, but that's not going to be enough. The Hellion gets right up in there, and it looks like these Stalkers from White Ra are finally spotting that QXC does have a few units in the middle of the map, is killing those off. Oh my god, White Ra pulling all his probes off mining, and it looks like QXC trying to to target the pylon, but the worst time he loses his focus, he's still firing at the pylon. The probes are massacring these Marines, but White Raw still isn't mining anything. And at the same time, a Void Ray popping out. Void Ray sneaking in from this Stargate. These two Stalkers are in the main. QXC is in a total panic mode. He's trying to pull off his SCVs and his Marines to defend, but this Void Ray is fully charged. Those Marines are falling so fast. Look at how quickly the health plummets for those Marines. QXC has virtually no anti-air. One Stalker will fall. This will make it a little bit easier to manage, but only Marines coming out right now for QXC. White Raw dealing with that probe harassment, or dealing with that Hellion harassment at his probe line well, and recovering with this huge push from the Void Rays. QXC is so low on SCVs, trying to mule to get some sort of stability of his economy, but he needs to regroup these Marines before he can try to push and take out this Void Ray. White Raw making another Void Ray, advancing into the front, and with that fully charged Void Ray, look at that, 18 kills, 19, 20, QXC in a horrible position, does manage to kill off that final Stalker, but good game, QXC down 0-1, White Raw, the beast from Ukraine, performing admirably in that first game, defending that harassment that happened right here at the back of his base very, very well, and of course using the hidden Void Ray to completely throw off his opponent. So very, very nice play from White Raw. Very fast, intense game coming right out the gate. Really goes to show you that if you can confuse your opponent, you can get away with quite a lot, even if you do end up blundering and losing a lot of probes and being in a rough spot. So we will be going on to Game 2 in just a minute, but of course we do have to thank our glorious sponsor, Razer, for helping with this tournament. For any of you who didn't know, I have used Razer products for 6 years now at all my major tournaments and all my WCGs, and I did get the opportunity to play around with Razer's new Starcraft 2 line. Their mouse, keyboard, and the mouse pad just feel absolutely great. So for any of you looking to get some new Starcraft 2 gear, Razer's gear does integrate with Starcraft 2. So for instance, get this. If your APM drops too low, you can have your keyboard and your mouse light up red. It has all the signals and everything built in. So fantastic. We will be going on to Game 2 in just a minute. We are just going to take a brief break so that way we can load up Game 2. See you in exactly 20 seconds.